Ladies and gentlemen, excellent news. Deleting the air injection solenoid from back here and deleting the charcoal canister solenoid from under here does not throw a check engine light. Just did a little ride, took up to 90 miles an hour, went through all the gears, let it idle for 5 minutes, no check engine light. So therefore everyone should delete that crap right now. The bike looks better, it's happier, it's lighter. I weighed it 2.3 pounds, but I actually forgot to weigh one of the lines. So maybe 2.4 pounds of weight savings. And this area right here doesn't look cluttered. There's no freaking lines everywhere. It got rid of 80% of the hoses all over the bike and didn't affect performance at all. And took that crap off, power plug. I also just nailed my first through 6 gear wheelie through some twisty turns in flip-flops. And now my hair looks like this. It was wonderful. So this bike does have a problem. A lot of people said that the stalling at idle goes away after X number of miles. Mine was seeming like that was happening. I'm up at about 500 miles now, and it hadn't stalled in a while. So I was like, okay, you know, it's probably gone. Well, I put that stupid power plug thing on there, and the problem came back. I don't know if this made it worse or if it's random and coincidence. There's no real way to figure that out, right? So I unplugged it, and it stayed about the same. So I really can't blame the power plug, but the power plug did not smooth out the idle, and it did not fix my stalling at idle problem, which it was advertised to do, by the way. So power plug is off. So this bike has an issue with low RPM performance. Low RPMs, it can stall at idle. It can stall even a little bit above idle on the D-cell. It actually stalled on me in a pretty bad spot yesterday in Crooms and almost, you know, made me fall backwards down a hill. So that's got to go. Because this bike has a catalytic converter, I've wanted to ditch this exhaust forever anyways. This header looks like shit already. It's already rusting a little bit, and it's small compared to the X header. So I got the Yoshimura RS4 duplex chamber exhaust system, full system. It's beautiful in every way. It's also like a full pass-through system. You can see light all the way through this bad Larry. Pretty crazy. There's no spark rest on there right now. But anyway, so I did that and I ordered the Vortex computer. But long story short, I ordered the computer 3 weeks ago, and they finally got back to me and said, oh, it's going to ship in a few weeks, which pisses me off because on their website it said it was in stock. And I got it from Tokyo Mods, the only people that have it listed so far. As soon as the computer comes in, we'll switch out the exhaust and hopefully fix the issues that this bike has. Honda, you better watch this and you better fix this issue for 2020 or send us out a recall, because that's bullshit. For a bike that's this expensive, that's street legal, that stalls at red lights. It's actually kind of dangerous. Tires and seat, excellent mods. I was 100 times more confident in the sand and the hills at Crooms. Best mods you can do for this bike. Guys, so I'm desmogging, deleting the air injection, the charcoal canister, and the catch can from the 450. Partially for weight, but mostly for looks, because I think it looks terrible to have all that crap on a pseudo race bike. So I'm almost done. The really easy thing, nothing really tricky about it. Just take off all the crap and make sure you seal it up properly once the crap's off. For the air injection flap, I just put a little black plug on top. I eventually plan on making a nice clean aluminum plate that will bolt there. Hopefully someone will make it for me first. I can just buy it instead, and then zip tie the connections up out of the way there where you won't see them. That's the easiest one. And then of course take the hose out. That hose hooked up here. You see that little nipple on the airbox? And you can't see, it's not focusing. It's right in front of my finger. There it is. See that nipple? That's where it went. So take all those hoses off. And then for the catch can and the charcoal canister, take all those off. There's one bolt that's kind of hard to get to. It's a 10 millimeter that holds the catch can. It's like a black 10 millimeter. What makes it really easy is if you remove the little wishbone brace thing, remove that from right here, and then you can get to, you can see where that 10 millimeter was back in there. So once you get that off, easy day. Get all that out of the way. And then, now that your catch can's gone, you have to find a new way to route your crankcase breather into the airbox. One of the hoses off of the, that's what this is. This is one of the hoses off of the charcoal canister. Fits awesome on the top of the head. To get to that, pull the tank. Don't take it all the way off. Just take off the 3 bolts and pick it up like I did, hook it on the handlebars. And that gives you plenty of room to get in there and access that. Now, one thing you run into is that this hose is a little smaller than the fitting on the airbox. You see where the fitting is? So that's the Honda fitting. See how it's like gets bigger? It's like a reducer. Just replace it with one of these, right? Because that'll fit nicely into there. It'll fit nicely into there. And on the airbox side, put some ultra gray. And on this side, put the little clamp, and you're done. That's going to look so much cleaner. You don't have these two brackets right here is what bolted the air injection solenoid. All the extra wires and hoses and just crap all over the place is gone. There'll be more airflow around the engine, which will make things happier, and it looks so much more open and better. And we're going to weigh all this stuff when we're done. And some of this stuff's actually kind of heavy, all these brackets and extra bolts and clips and all this stuff. There's more than this I deleted too. You guys got to get it all in one spot and weigh it. Another thing you'll need is a means to cap off this little tiny port. See it right there? On the side there. Focus, piece of crap. There you go, that little tiny port on the side of the intake boot that used to go to your charcoal canister. I find that taking a screw and cutting it off and putting some gas safe sealer on it, then pushing it in there is the best way to do it. She's all back together except for the plastics. Look how you can see light in this area. Oh, it looks so much better. I just zip tied the brake sensor switch harness right there to that mount, but ran the wires so you can't even see it. Very clean. You can see my screw head right there. That is a Mud Puppy mod if I've ever seen one. There's a choke. But anyways, here's all the Obama crap on here. What do you think all that crap weighs? 2.3 pounds of garbage. That's the charcoal canister, catch can, and air injection solenoid, and all the hoses and clamps and extra bolts and extra brackets. So 2.3 pounds. Now I just made up for how much heavier my tires are, and then some, by taking off crap that is just hideous and stupid and just terrible in every way. So now you're probably wondering, well, if your gas tank used to breathe in there, and your crankcase breather used to breathe in there, where's that all going to breathe now? So the crankcase breather, I showed you earlier, but I'll show you again. We just ran it straight into the airbox. Just bypass the catch can. That's what that little barb fitting right there is. Straight in the airbox, gas safe sealer or oil safe sealer on there, and boom, that's where your crankcase breathes. This top breather was where the air injection used to come from. That's capped off nicely with some sealer. It used to go to here through the solenoid and all that crap. And the gas tank used to breathe in the charcoal canister. Well, now it's just going to come out of this hose and drip on the ground. Yes, liberals, freak out. We're going to drip a little bit of gas on the ground. Not really. This gas cap has a really special fancy baffle in it that won't let it drip on the ground anyways. That was just for catching, once the fuel starts to evaporate, catching those fumes. Those fumes are going to go into the atmosphere, guys, and it's probably going to cause the next ice age. But I did order another little cap for this. It's one of those little shorties that go in there with a little valve, so I can get rid of this hose eventually. It's just going to have a nice little aluminum little valve on there. So we're going to put it together and ride it around and see if we get a check engine light. I don't think we're going to. I think Honda is going to be nice